You have a stadium full of black people chanting that they want to kill the white farmer.
Shoot to kill. Come on, sir.
Today, we're going to be talking about the white refugees that are flooding our country after President Trump granted refugee visas to 50,000 South African refugees. As you can expect, the liberals are not reacting well to this news. The Episcopal Church has announced it will end its decades-old partnership with the government to resettle refugees, citing moral opposition to resettling white Afrikaners from South Africa who have been classified as refugees. Church, let me remind you of how the Episcopal Church behaved just a few months ago when Trump was being inaugurated.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. They may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals.
You mean persecution, like when the whole government can go into a stadium and chant that they want to kill you?
Alliance. Shoot to kill. Come on, sir. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. Brr, pa, pa. Brr, pa, pa.
Stadium full of black people who outnumber you, by the way. The population of the Bantu has exploded in South Africa, in part because the white farmers made it such an abundant land that could support such a population. But here they are chanting that they want to kill the white farmer, which is amazing because about 50% of the inhabitants of South Africa, all black, are on welfare, paid for by the whites. So here they are chanting blatantly that they want to kill the white farmer. They very specifically said that. The Boer is the white Afrikaner farmer. And that is not enough for the Episcopal Church. That's not enough because if you haven't caught on to it by now, the Episcopal Church is Satan. They cannot resettle the white Afrikaners because of moral opposition. Oh, here we go. There we go. There's the statistics. Here is a black who clearly has got some European admixture in there. It's probably why he can read. Said, we need to unite as black people. There are less than 5 million white in South Africa versus 45 million of us. That's good. That's good. Good for you understanding larger and bigger numbers. We can kill all this white within 2 weeks. We have the army and the police. If those who are killing farmers can do it, what are you waiting for? Shoot the Boer, kill the family. Kill the farmer, excuse me. There you go. They're telling you right there. But the Episcopal Church cannot support this. No. Black power. No, we cannot support the racist Afrikaner who doesn't want to die as penance for his ancestors' supposed and imagined sins. They are being targeted. They're specifically being targeted because they're white. They tell you right here, here he goes, he clearly says it. If those who are killing farmers can do it, what are you waiting for? So there's all this pretense. If you read like mainstream news here in the West, they're going to tell you it's not happening. They're not being hunted down. Yet, when we get direct videos and footage, these people are openly and admittedly telling you this is exactly what's happening. Aside from the fact that you have one of their chief politicians in a stadium full of black people chanting, can you guys imagine a stadium full of white people? Even just saying, we deserve a white country. Here it is. They tell you it isn't a genocide, yet these images are everywhere. All you have to do is search, and you're not going to be able to find them on Google. Stop typing at Grok. Is this true? Is it true? You guys sound so retarded.
Grok, is this true? Is it true, Grok? Daddy, tell me if it's true. I can't think for myself and do any research by myself. I want to ask this AI that's been programmed by Jews and Indians if something that they don't want me to know about is true. Tell me, Grok. Tell me. I'm going to start the revolution, but first I got to ask Grok, is this true? Is it true?
Stop, all right? There's plenty of sources where you can actually get the real information. What you should do is follow accounts on here that tell you the truth, who have a good account to follow. There's a couple of other really great accounts. I'll be pulling them up. But you're going to have to get this information for yourself. I like when they do this passive-aggressive thing, as if as if they weren't being supported by a military industrial complex that's been totally usurped from the people who built it, as if they would even have running water. They speak so arrogantly, like, do you understand that if all bets were off, this quote unquote race war would be over in 2 weeks? And I'm sorry, but you wouldn't be winning. Okay? You wouldn't be winning. Europeans have been fighting a race war since the beginning, and they were winning until we grew soft and gay. And we're like, let's let Jews create our foreign policy. That's a good idea. Let in the brown Democrats. What are you, racist?
Who are going to be entering the United States. This is just a public service announcement. I just wanted to make you aware that the Black people who were students during apartheid, we're grandmas and grandpas now, and we have the ear of Gen Z. One more thing.
Most of y'all aborted your kids, so you're not grandmas and grandpas, but that's right.
I also want to let you know that our president, he has Secret Service, and you will not.
Right. But guess what they'll have here? The 2A. And I know you guys all have guns because it's illegal and you deal drugs, but these will be legal and they know how to use them. You know why? Because they don't watch rap videos and go, let me fire 17 clips this way and not hit anything. Passive aggressive. It's so great when you guys film these things from your camera and you're threatening people, but it's so safe where you are and you think everybody's got your back because the industrial media complex is totally overtaken by a parasitic race that wants the actual people who accomplish things here dead. And so you then start to think like you're just untouchable and like nothing's gonna ever harm you, and then you get yourself in trouble.
I also want to tell you that Black people over here are empowered.
Oh yeah, empowered. That's right. We empowered. We be empowered.
These are just public service announcements.
Yeah.
When you get here, sit your ass down and don't touch nothing.
Get in the back of the bus.
Because you don't have Secret Service. Okay.
Bro, that's not even a fisheye lens that's making her look like that. She just has a face of a fish. I mean, you can see the hate, man. I always see these faces, by the way. It's not just Black people. There's like plenty of white liberals who get this like real, you can see the rage right behind their eyes. There it is. There's the rage right there, right behind their eyes. And that grin that basically looks like a demon's mouth. When you start believing in stupid things like equality and everybody should vote and everybody gets a say in how we run our government, doesn't matter how dumb they are or how much they hate the people who built the country, this is what starts to happen, okay? We are living under Bolshevikism, okay? If you are new to this or you don't realize, you're like, we're in a capitalist country, you're retarded and you haven't been paying attention. Because if you say anything that goes against the Bolshevik agenda, what happens to you? Think about all the things you don't say because you know that there's a consequence. You don't even need somebody to tell you anymore. You just self-censored. Congratulations. This is the end point of Bolshevik communism before it becomes kinetic and actually starts rounding people up in camps and killing them the way they did in Russia. Honestly, to the white South Africans, I don't know what to tell you because it is your home. You built that country. There were no Black people permanently settled in South Africa when the Afrikaners got there. Okay, well, they were the Dutch at that point. They weren't Afrikaners. They created the country. They created the whole infrastructure. They created the running water. They created the farms, which grew the food, which could support the booming Bantu population. And the Bantus were violent African nomads who went through sub-Saharan Africa killing and slaughtering the tribes they came into conflict with. And they are keeping up that same energy when they find the white farmers. This was the reason that apartheid was established. They never want to tell you. They just act like white people all of a sudden for some reason. Deep inside them, they are just racist and we can't understand it. No, don't look at the television and the crime statistics and the incessant Black behavior. Don't pay attention to any of that, please. No, whites are racist because they're evil, that's it. Yes, they're just evil. It's not caused by anything Black people are doing or have ever done. They're the gift to this earth. They've always been so wonderful. Oh, look at the racism in this video. It's amazing. She just went, and the fight, they don't stop. The shaboonery continues. I mean, drive her through a window. This was a dollar store. All right. The good news is everybody in that video was Black. I don't know why that's good news, because then they can't claim racism, right? When the dollar store closes because they can't survive when their store is being destroyed, you can't claim racism because it's being run by Black people and you drove into it and you're Black. So this is what people are now waking up to, right? Because our generation was the generation that was brought up under the lie that white people had a deep, evil, original sin within them of racism that they couldn't resist without constant persecution from the media telling us how bad we are. And now, thanks to social media and police officer body cams, which the left called for, we are clearly seeing that any kind of quote-unquote racist systems were established to protect white people from people who can't seem to manage their emotions, build a functioning society, or at the very least, respect our boundaries and the things that we create. Well, everybody's bringing up how hot this white woman is who came over here. She's a very good looking lady, I will say. I'm not a lesbian, but I can recognize women. We have the ability to recognize when other women are beautiful. It's usually when we call them a slut. Okay? If this shaboon over here had posted her picture in a bathing suit on Instagram, there would be tons of women under her comments going, "You're beautiful. You're so brave. Oh my God. I wish I could wear this suit like you. You wear the shit out of that swimsuit. Ooh, girl." That's what you would see. And if this chick, who is actually hot, posted a picture of herself in a bikini, you'd be like, "You're a pick-me. You're a whore. Look at somebody starving for attention. Oh my God, gross. I don't even like her body. Those hips are weird." That's what you get. So for all the people that were saying the white South Africans didn't look like they were suffering, I mean, how many of the migrants that come through our country look like they're suffering? Would you look at that? Pretty well dressed, huh? And aside from these two women that I can see, it looks like a sea of military-aged men. Oh, dude, there are women in here, but you really can't tell you can't tell, man. God, man. What do you think they're bringing to your country, huh? These are the doctors they told us and the engineers. What do you think they're bringing? I can just see the streets of trash. But God forbid we let some white people into this country who are actually being killed for nothing that they did, by the way. By the way, there's 5 million Afrikaners living in South Africa, and we've only accepted 50,000. I would be for accepting all 5 million of them. I'm not even kidding. But the terms are, when you leave, you got to burn down that farm. Hey. You want the country? It's got magic soil? Here we go. Start over. And the truth of the matter is you can even leave the farms that are there, and they're still going to be starving to death in about 5 years because they just can't do these things. I don't know why. Maybe they're cursed. Maybe it is what the Bible says. The curse of Cain, your hand will work the earth and nothing will come from it, because what else could it be? It's all projection. It's all a projection. The real racists are the people who are saying they're going to kill you because of the color of your skin. The people who are spazzing out of sheer envy and resentment because this woman possesses a beauty so casually, they could never, no matter how much skin bleaching and hair dyeing and hair extensions, they will never be able to replicate. And so because of that, they believe if they can destroy her, they can destroy this beauty that exists in the world, and then they will be the symbol of beauty. But beauty is not in the eye of the beholder, and it is not subjective. There are objective aesthetics. That's why we like certain architecture, and then we look at other stuff and go, this is soulless. That's why we like certain faces. We think it's beautiful. We want to see it. That's why we like certain music, or that's why we like certain poetry. Stop listening to the soulless demon communists who want to destroy everything and then tell you that it never existed in the first place. You must have been crazy. Talk about epic gaslighting. I mean, I don't even know what this is, to tell you the truth. I don't know what that is. The media is fantastic.
Apartheid
has virtually halted refugee admission in America for people fleeing war and famine in places like Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo.
No, I don't care. Good. I don't need any more Sudanese and Democratic Republic of Congo, because they don't know. They bring their war here. That's what they do. Go look at Canada, where the Sikhs are fighting the Indians or fighting the Pakistanis. Okay? They basically what you did was you just imported India, Pakistani, Sikh, and now it's in Canada. Okay? Canada doesn't exist outside of the people who make it. India doesn't exist outside of the people who make it. It's not like once you go to India, something comes over you and you immediately just start shitting on the street and you can't help yourself. That's not how it goes. Okay? There are Indian people who need to shit on the street for some strange biological reason we can't understand. So it's not like once you take them over to Canada and you show them toilets, suddenly it changes to, no, their genetic thing that just, I got this shit on the beach, comes out. Enough.
Rick, Mark, and Eddie. Rick Stinger.
Yes, it's so deeply and morally wrong-headed and repulsive. These are the descendants of the people who created the most diabolical system of white supremacy in human history.
Supremacy. I wonder who that is, dude. Who knows? They're just evil, dude. You could just hear the evil. They're the descendants of people who created. Okay, so are we doing collective guilt or are we not? Okay? Because when a black person commits a crime and it statistically keeps happening, we go, well, we can't treat all black people like that because not all black people are like that. But then when a white person shows up, they're guilty of not just what white people are doing now because they're not really doing anything, right? But everything white people supposedly have done throughout history.
They're not directly responsible for it, but it was a system that actually moved black people off of the arable land. So they inherited the land that the black people had to give up. It was called forced removal. It was something called a Bantustan.
There we go. There's the magic soil again, the arable land. What were they doing with the arable land before the white people got there? And what happened in Zimbabwe once the blacks took over the land? Oh, man. We can't answer that. Let's see who this Rick Stengel is here. Oh. New York City. No way. That can't be it. Enough.
Policy where they moved black people out of the cities and farmlands into these remote areas with non-arable land. I mean, it was just one of the most worst processes ever.
Yeah, when all the whites moved into Orania, which is totally non-arable land, it was a desert. There was nothing. This is literally what the whites said. They're like, okay, all right, we've taken your land. We've taken the special magical soil, and that's the reason you guys can't figure out how to run a civilization. No problem. We're going to go into this land that has absolutely nothing, doesn't even have close access to water, no resources, and we're just going to live there. Just leave us alone, okay? And so far, they have been left alone because they haven't. The Bantu have enough of other resources available. But Orania is a flourishing society. Now, if you Google it, the New York Times is going to tell you how it's failed and it's suffering, okay? But none of those people were trying to come over here and be immigrants, okay? And they turned it into a flourishing society within a couple of generations. Yeah, it's the land. It's the magic soil. They take the soil.
What has happened in this strange, bizarre world we're living in is that the Afrikaners have become the darling of these right-wing white supremacists.
Why could that be? Why could it be? Is it because you're threatening to kill them? Could that be it? Oh, no way. This can't be the reason. Can't be. Oh, no, they've become the darling for some reason. I don't understand it. We live in an upside-down world. I thought the Jews ran everything and the whites would never dare speak up.
There's movements around the world that it's like the lost cause for them. It's like the old Confederacy. They're held up as these white Christians who are being...
you see how they try to tie it? You see, watch the Jewish mind games, huh? Tries to associate it with everything that we know to be evil. The old Confederacy. This right-wing extremism. Let's listen to that again.
The world, that it's like the lost cause for them. It's like the old Confederacy. They're held up as these white Christians.
They're white Christians. The Confederacy. Notice how he turned to the black guy. Come on, I'm your friend. Remember, we did run the slave ships and we're the ones responsible and most of us are the ones who own slaves, but we're pro-black and you have rap albums now because of us. We're friends.
Who are being dispossessed of their land. It's like this is a modern replacement theory in a country.
I mean, it's completely inverted. That's the thing, all right? Everything he's saying is the exact opposite. It's the whites who are being dispossessed. It's the whites who created the land that are now having it taken from them. It's the whites who are being persecuted for the color of their skin. But he wants that to happen. He doesn't want them to have a refugee, right? Because, some part of them are still mind-fucked. And the other part is that every country turned on the whites in South Africa when they started this whole ending apartheid bullshit, and they didn't really have a hope in the world. They were hit with sanctions, and it really pretty much destroyed the country. That's why. It's not because the blacks were so smart and got so organized and overcame. Nope. They had the help of certain media-like figures, if you will.
Where, by the way, white people make up 7% of the population and own...
And apparently, according to the chat, they were 20% of the population.
78% of the farmland.
Right, because they made the farmland. I own 100% of my house.
So it's actually, there's no injustice here. As you mentioned, it's taking places away from refugees who are really being crushed by it.
There's nothing happening. Don't believe your eyes. Listen.
It's taking places away from refugees who are really being crushed by authoritarian governments and military governments. For these folks,
we're taking places that could be for some good black and brown people. We're giving it to the whites. No, I'm melting. My total evil Zionist evil plan that's been going on for hundreds of years, maybe thousands, is coming to an end. I'm ruined.
Farmland. So it's actually, there's no injustice here.
There's no injustice. Don't worry. What you see is not real. They're being attacked, slaughtered, murdered in the middle of the night. There is no injustice. There's another really good pro-South African account. There we go. He is a South Afrikaner, and he documents so much of this. Here we go. Very simple question. If the whites are the ones who are keeping the South African blacks from being able to farm, what is keeping all the other blacks in all the other countries where there are no white people, aka Liberia, from farming? All propaganda. This is all communist propaganda. This is all color revolution. It's the exact same shit that we are getting here. Being told that it was never ours, we took it from them, and if we hadn't done it, the magical black and brown people would have a flourishing Wakanda. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. This is the acting president of South Africa who's encouraging black people to go to privately owned Orania and illegally occupied land. They will tell you now, once they get what they want in South Africa, they will go to Orania. I don't know why these white people think it's not going to happen. Okay, and they'll claim it's theirs because all of Africa belongs to the blacks. But Europe doesn't belong to whites. No, that would be racist. The whole reason there's a lot of reasons I'm focused on South Africa, right? The major one being that there's a serious injustice going on here, and specifically targeting white people. But the other reason is because it's a glimpse into our future. This is exactly what they want here and in every European country. You're like, but Leonarda, how are they going to convince people that Ireland is theirs and that England is theirs? They make up. Haven't you seen their out of Africa theory? And then they show you, remember Cheddar Man, where they try to pretend he was brown, the original caveman was brown. So they will create a whole fake history to establish their claim to that land. All of this shit about the black people owning South Africa is one of their fabrications. It's not true. They weren't there. The South African climate is too cold for the Bantu to have settled in. They couldn't do it in the winter. Because have you seen what they built? Okay, and they didn't have running water. They didn't have any of this stuff. They did not come there and settle until white people built a place for them to settle in. And naturally, they wanted to protect it, so they created laws that said, hey, it's our country, we built it, we're the ones who get to decide what the future of it is. And then all it took was a few Bolsheviks to get down there, start up the race injustice bullshit, right? Create a whole fabrication. Of course this is their land. And the whole thing was overturned. So everybody should care about what's going on in South Africa.